Hi, welcome back to Now TV Canada. I hope you can hear all of this. I'm your host, Jennifer, at the I Am Just on YouTube channel, President and CEO of Future Productions. So, this is it. It's the big moment that I thought I'd make the time for while the sun is still up and the going is good and it's easy on my injured arm to do. So, this is the very first self published book of poetry I did back in my 30s called A Special Something. The dedication words underneath, I love you. It's also not just a message for somebody, whoever the somebodies are, because everything you start off writing in the world is usually for one person or about some certain experience. And then over time, it becomes for something else. So rather than saying any specific name and then having it immortalized like that, I just put the words "I love you" because I'm talking about to the girl inside of me that never got to live. I never got to tour around like Jewel in a van with my guitar and my songs and live out a dream of doing CDs in studio and reaching out to and reaching Eminem and all that stuff I had continued writing in this era of my life. When my Superwoman van was still on the road and I was getting around in it, I had begun doing my little shops, coffee shops, and interviews on radio stations up north in BC when I was working on the promotion of this book and was still able to play some guitar and had done some demo reels of my songs, which I still have. And there are some videos on this channel. But today, the reason it's important to read this, I think, first of all, I don't think I ever did read this whole book because I just kept hoping I could get out on tour. But that era in my life has come to an end. It is unfortunate, but that part of what I was trying to do and what I wanted never got to happen. And there comes a point where you have to lay it to rest. You have to bury it and let it go. And you have to breathe new life into yourself and present new opportunities and futures. And this book and the other two to the series go with the story in the video I just made and addressed to Mark Carney, the Governor General, Parliament, Prince, sorry, King Charles, Prince William. This big movie here, the three go with this. So, because there's changes coming in, this book will be moving on to its third edition. It'll be revised for a third time. And hopefully, fingers crossed, since I'm doing all the work, there'll be no more mistakes in that final copy so people can buy perfect drafts of it and get to enjoy it also on their Kindle if that's their thing. I'm not big on that thing. Um, but it's life and I know it's there and people do use them and I can't avoid that reality. Um, because of what Elon Musk is doing with Google and Yahoo is now joining with that whole thing, I have problems now when it comes to PayPal and using this traditional email, which I never ever thought would ever uh, be threatened or at risk of getting full and being told, oh, you have to pay for more storage. So I'm going to have to make some changes and have my own emails through my hosting services that I've paid for to avoid any more interferences from people outside like that, the way Bill Gates did with his computers and Microsoft. So I'm going to read this whole copy of this version of the book so that it's there in history on record, and it goes with me trying to reach everyone about solving the problem of what went wrong with the movie and what went wrong with the trilogy and where the Canadian income and our industry could be, um, and so many other important things around our environment and reversing damages and costs on. So, without further ado, here is a special something written by none other than myself under my pen name, Jennifer Cooley. It is not my birth name, just to reiterate. We're still working on that part of my ancestry to actually tie in the correct information of all the family names because when people move around and they're indentured slaves and get adopted because of death in the family, it gets confusing. Names change. And so then you're like, well, who am I? And so I had to rediscover myself somewhere after my first divorce. And so I found a name that stuck. And so it's Jennifer Cooley. So the inside again is my little girl. I don't know if the new copy will still have that. We'll see. You'll have to wait. The dedication inside says to Mike Cooley. Ooh, might be a big hint on where I got inspired to get the name from. But then again, there's lots of Cooleys in the world. And Heath Ledger, for giving me the courage to chase my dreams to the promise of a better future. And last but not least, my firstborn child, my daughter, Destiny. In spite of the tragedy of what happened to Heath, after I had met Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie in Alberta on a contract as security, that I had to sign a secret waiver to never disclose. Of course, many years have passed now. I can talk about it, but Heath was still alive then, and I left, and I went so far north in BC. When I came back to BC after how things dismantled and ended in Alberta, I was pretty bad off, tragically hip, right? I was in a place where I want to go as far away as I can. And I ended up so far north, back to where I was born in Prince Rupert, to try and find myself, that it took 6 months for me to find out that Heath had passed away. The further north you are, the more isolated a community you are, your interests and your needs are different. And unlike what Hollywood might think, Canadians do not make America rich. We are not the country buying all of your products and watching all of your entertainment. We are not going out to theaters and watching all of your movies. Many of us like to read, stay in, stay cozy, listen to music from all over the world, very cultured, and travel to European places where we're from, go out to little events like places that hold local artists who perform local work like this. So it was devastating for me that I was at the cusp of a change in my life that was very much needed after almost falling in love for a second time and thinking I might finally get a boyfriend, get to move in with somebody or get married, whatever, however it happens. Although marriage first would always be the best scenario, but when you get to a certain age and after a divorce and a kid, you don't get too picky. You just want to be loved and in love and have somebody to cherish time in life with, which is what makes my work so important, because I kept holding on to the hope and the promise, the faith that it would work out when I was still in an age and era where it could be fun and romantic. And it didn't work out like that for me. So now it makes the work even more important. And now it's meant for like a larger scope and an older audience. So I decided to dedicate it to the two guys at that time that had, the most effect on what was going on in my life, that I couldn't do enough for. If I had reached Heath Ledger, just like River Phoenix, when I was a little girl, odds are both would have remained alive. I'm not going to obviously read through the index. So we're just going to move forward. And with Genesis, it's a little poem, just like a little dedicatory piece that starts it off, the work off. In every man, every one, everything, and everywhere, there is evidence of eviction. So this would obviously go back to my Christian beliefs. It goes back to the beginning of time. It goes back to God, the Bible. It goes back to the fall of man and the original sin of Adam and Eve and the temptation by the snake, the serpent, the devil. And then from that contrast, we're going to move on to something good. Henceforth, the title of the book, A Special Something. Test the depth of your love. Love is more than some gooey emotion. It is a commitment. In the Greek language, love was described in 3 different ways. Eros, physical attraction; philos, love between friends; and agape, unconditional love. Marriages that are simply based upon eros or filio love are destined for trouble, but marriages built around the agape love that Christ displayed will last. Emotions will come and go, but true love is far more than that. The Bible says, many waters cannot quench love, neither can rivers drown it. Song of Songs 8 and 7. And so I just posed this question at the bottom in hyphens. Think about this before you propose and have a wonderful life together. It often Brad Pitt would have done, what would have happened with him and Angie had he been able to read my work when they met me. I think at that time there was only the 2 adopted kids in the picture. Next poem is called Mummy. I did tell you, it's true. The moment I started cutting myself, the day I started skipping school, when my grades started to drop, I did tell you. When I started writing suicide notes in the middle of a school day afternoon, sitting out back on the train tracks, when I said the words, I wanted to die, and showed you my scars. I did tell you. And what did you say? Oh, well, if that's the way you feel, I guess I'll see you in paradise. Those are not the words you say to fix a little girl's life, in pain. Not if you're a supporting and loving parent in any way of the 12-year-old girl successfully throwing her life away. The help needed never came. I did tell you, it's true. That's an entire interview of itself on the Phil Donahue show. Rest in peace, I loved that man. Greatest daytime talk show host ever. So on with the book. She. For all those years that I've lived in that lifestyle, you were that hit, that fit. The one wearing the clothes that described the way I felt inside before turning over to a life of learning new love, a kindness and solitude that doesn't need push and shove. Softer touches, orgasms without pain. To love someone, saying their name, not to punish and be cruel, to get that hit and feel that fix over the angrier life forced upon us to live, from damage in our youth which goes unspoken, a choice between living or dying for God. What can we do about the separation between us two? It's all about being real when needing something to feel. Looking back on it all now, I shake my head as I confront the truth and my point of view over the attraction I had towards you. I'm not going to talk about that. Use your own imagination. But I'll just say, punk. Chameleon. I am what I see around me. I take what life has given me and do my best to feed off it what I need every day. Continuously changing like a chameleon. But for me, never to be blending, because my change is never ending. Happy New Year. This is one of my favorite ones. Midnight in the new year, 2 sets of lips, kissing in the night. The sound of them smacking ever so light, courting each other so slow. Time to let the other know what's right about being together, as they lay in the warmth of the love shared between each other, and they inquire with the delicate touch of their fingers, based on where they land and what's in the future of their love's plans. With a gentle push of one button, off goes the television. So I'm going to talk about that. This was a complete fictitious story made up in my head that never took place in the time frame in which I wrote it. I was struggling between shelters, recovery houses, relapses, looking for love, my religious beliefs, as in I always believed in my God, but where do I turn to get help from people that believed in the same thing? Because they didn't offer anything. There was nothing. So I was forced to deal with the outside world and what they offer, which is limited on how much they can help. And when you're an artist, it's tragically hip because you can't help but want to escape. The only way you know how, that constantly creates that cycle that pushes the buttons on creativity. And so I wrote something in contrast, in irony to my situation. I was in Surrey, near the Surrey Central Station, freezing my butt off. I was outside during this New Year's, and I think I was like lying on a bench, a metal bus bench at that Surrey Central Station, trying to get into the swing of it, the moment, that time of trying to enjoy New Year's and be out with people rather than be isolated, and just locked away from any kind of joy at all. And so I just courted myself. I just dreamed of what would be perfect, to be inside somewhere warm and cozy and safe with someone that loves and enjoys their time with you. And so that is what got this poem written. And when you escape into the words and the story of this poem, it's very beautiful. And now today, people can actually live this very experience and enjoy their moment, their circumstances. They can blend it. So the next poem is called Searching. I wrote this as a young teenager, 17. Again, struggling with where to live and having a home, over a roof over my head, paying bills, and living and dying, light and dark. There was an artist that lived in the same building as my stepdad. His work was outstanding, and he put this picture in his window of all these falling bodies of people with a black background, and I couldn't believe how much his work needed to be in an art show with my poetry. And this was specifically just meant to be with that piece of work. If I could find it today, I would buy it and use it on display in an art show of mine with this poem. It's called Searching. Searching for something, not knowing what it is, hoping to find it as you keep moving on. Don't know what to do. Keep searching for some sight. For the more you look around, the more there's only night. But just when you think there's no hope at all, you look up above you, and there shines some light. How quickly you race to follow that sight, for now you're afraid to lose this light. You start to climb, keep climbing after it, closer and closer, now very bright. You begin to feel a rush, for you think you're almost there. But just then you blink and it all disappears, hoping to have reached it before it was gone, not knowing if anyone was ever to make it. You think maybe you can fake it. You begin to feel tired, knowing now that it was futile. But you just can't stop, for there's no way down. Only a big empty space with a black face. You're hearing voices, you look around, even though you can't see ground. Now something is calling your name, saying to you, come on down with all the rest. Don't worry, they won't contest. Damn it, I hate the devil. You panic, not knowing what to do. Don't bother, it says. You failed, nothing left you can do. Gripping you tightly, feeling no emotion, no strength left, and hardly any will. Floating in nothing as time is standing still. Now in deep thought, you begin to wonder if this is all a deep spell we're under. There's got to be something left to do. Must find a way to fight this thing. Can't let it feel at home in our hearts, for we've already been split into too many parts. Whatever it is, it's in us now. Some of us knowing this, yet others still aware of nothing at all. It'll enter when you're sleeping or when you feel alone. Mustn't let your mind wander into this unsacred zone. Day by day, minute by minute. It's growing stronger and stronger within us all. We turn to each other, hoping someone may have found the answer. Nothing left to do except to keep moving on. We walk around wondering what's left for us to go through, what's left for us to do. But in the final end, still having found no answer yet, the search continues on. I really want that painting. I have to go back to Winnipeg, to St. Boniface. You start from where he lived to find out where the artist is and pray the work is still there, or that you can track down where he is. Even if I just got a print copy of it and gave him a copy of the poem, I'm sure he'd be honored. Loved it. Okay, so as time goes on, of course, everybody suffers heartaches, almost loves, and then things burn out or whatever. So, because I've driven all over the place, I have got to do like a Cyndi Lauper, I drove all night thing. So this would be that version. It's called Burning Down the Highway. The pain of living every night without you. These feelings so alive leave me at a loss as to what I can do. So my tires burn down the highway, driving the same miles every day, not knowing how to get by with the way thinking of you makes me feel. I can't even touch myself. My body aches to give itself to you and let you take me to the other side of a lover's world, one I don't know outside of these words, but eagerly anticipate finding you as I walk down a street one day. There you are, all that man standing before me, going nowhere, and without a word, you reach out and grab onto what you know is yours, knowing nothing I have is locked away from you. And I can't do anything but give in to your heart's demand. Your hands hold, your arms surround me. It's unstoppable. What you do to my blood, my temperature rises, and I'm lost in that moment of finally seeing you after months of dreaming and days of wandering the city streets, hurting so bad to find you, to try and rewrite that tragedy that lives in every naked moment I spend alone, and every footstep I take without you keeping time there by my side. That feeling of your long legs not next to me burdens my heart as my ears miss the sound of your voice rambling words for hours that only make sense to me. I bear a sadness which cannot be described. So I scratch at my skin as I cry over where no man has ever been. And all I can do is wait with the undaunted passion that someday the one that I need will finally be there to fix what is missing from inside of me. It's one of my favorite ones. And in this case, there is an actual guy. It's not made up. That's part of that story. And no, I've never seen him again. So this next one, sensitive topic warning. It's called rape. Letting go. Because you have to survive. You got to move on. Remembering each time, remembering each fight. Every touch felt like being stabbed with a knife. Remembering the laughter of those who stood by the doorway while watching this all. Remembering when you were being held down tight, each one taking turns with your life, feeling so helpless as you lie there through it all, thinking and feeling that it will never go away. Never again will you feel the same way. They've taken your innocence and thrown it all away, leaving just horrors lying in the way. It's not fair. It's not right as you watch them walk away, scarless from it all. It's nothing but another score for their wall. It's not fair. It's not right. Oh, how it would be so nice to see them fall and make them feel just once what we felt through it all. I want to say, as an older person from the time I wrote that, maybe they walk away and they're acting like there's no scars, right? Like it doesn't affect them. But trust me, it does. Believe me, it's a matter of conscience, right? It makes a difference. There is a God that's watching this justice that must be paid. I've been back in time to these places and seen these people, previous uh, assailants in my life, wandering around, watching them having never been able to age out from where they were when these crimes were committed, and no justice prevailed, where they were never arrested and charged because of their ages, because the system is like trying to defend, oh, it's just kids against kids. But how do you justify rape? No matter what age it is, it's still what it is. And when you're looking at the ages of the people involved, there's always somebody older who knows better. So there's always some way for a justice to take place. And when nothing happens in that way, then it comes through within, right? Where a person is scarred, damaged in the sense of trying to come to terms with understanding how wrong what they did is. And never be able to leave those communities or places. Never learning how to turn themselves in, whatever. The idea of somebody else being allowed to come into their lives where they could get away with it again, absurd. And so I visually saw how one of these people in my life from that time never got the ability to have relationships with children, right? They were left in that childlike state of dysfunction and badness, where all they knew how to do is act like a school kid and hang out at different levels of school, but they're still just wandering the halls of schools. And the last time was like walking the halls of the University of Manitoba, and I was like floored. Why? Why would you go from elementary, junior high to that, thinking you would be able to repeat that experience that happened as an adult in that environment, acting like that 12-year-old that did these violent things? At any rate, I got some satisfaction out of what I recognized had taken place, and knowing that he had to live that damaged life. He could never escape his judgment and the guilt. Kind of like Ryan Wedding, or his last name is Wedding, and now he's going to jail. So there won't be any wonderful wife and wedding and children and happily ever after situation. And so that's what happened there. So there is always a way for some form of justice to happen. And you do need to get to a point where you let it go. And writing is a mighty, mighty strong way of getting it out of your system. The next one's called Broken Leg. Lying there on the black ice in the black night beneath the stars on a cold winter's night in Winnipeg, thinking of the timeline, checking the Earth's tempo. I'll never again live in that end over where the future took me from then. I had a severe broken right leg experience in the dark at night in the dead of winter in St. James in Winnipeg. And I learned the tempo of the love in the world and in this country, in that city, and in suburban neighborhoods, and how much it was dropping the night that experience happened. I don't have time to get into that, but it was pretty horrific because I was so young to learn about that at such a young age, and having to cope with existing alone in it, and all I have to lean on is God and the people I was taught about in the Bible by him as I grew in my knowledge and drew closer to that God. I'm lucky it's got me through. I'm okay now. I think I wrote a new one that is a little more detailed. I think I've talked about it in different places throughout the years of making my videos on this channel. But the next one, a little more positivity. It's called A Flower. Never allowed to bloom, sitting in the darkness of a room with a picture, a lampstand, and a blanket on the moon. Oh, never mind. So it's a flower that doesn't grow in light. Bright flowers need light. They want to bloom. So maybe he wasn't so happy. Okay, this one is good. Get the fans out. Here we go. It's another one that relates to burning down the highway. Can you make love to me? Can you touch me right, make me feel sweet with the touch of your hands? Can you make me feel warm with comfort, lying next to you under the sheets where our naked bodies meet, right down to the feet? Can you make my skin feel what it needs to, shivering from your love as you enter and fill me up inside? Can you give my body all that it desires a whole night through? Can you love me in such a way that makes up for all the years spent living without you? Can you give it to me gently? Can you give it to me strong? Your every move knowing where not to go wrong. Do you know how to hold on? Do you know how to make me breathe, feel at ease? As we lay together, can you win in making my heart race, pitter patter, my eyes dance at just a glance of looking at you? Time well spent with a man who knows what to do. Can you satisfy my woman? Yes. Put me in my place. Make me feel alive every moment I'm lying by your side. Can you make me feel just right in every way beneath the darkened skies, quenching the fire of our desires, your body washing over me, filling me with every need, never wanting this to end, loving you back every moment we spend together this way? What more could I ask for? What more could I need? I cannot go wrong as long as it's you I'm lying next to. Your arms holding on, and my head finally able to rest, laying itself upon your chest, feeling the love of your heart move in its every beat, overwhelmed with happiness I never imagined could ever be possible. In knowing that all your heart's love is mine, paradise arriving just on time. As you kneel before me on bended knee, in finding my way to you, as my kiss back says yes to you. So can you, baby? Can you? Can you make love to me? Flesh. For the sake of time, I'm going to speed up just reading through the book because that's the mission, is to just get it recorded. Flesh. The flesh so sinful and sticky. Your skin tastes so sweet, lying next to your body's heat, naked, beneath the light, smiling at each other and taking pleasure in the beauty that we see. I run my fingers slowly down the middle of your chest. I softly play as my lips move towards kissing something so alive. Your skin so clean, not a wrinkle in the way. As I play and wish this day would never end, to be in the arms of someone who knows how to make me feel so healthy and well, like I'm wanted to by you. A dream come true, nothing more to do but lay with you for a day or two, floating in all this passion, feeling like we're in heaven, happy to have found someone with which to share all the sensation that lives there, to know you're not alone. I wipe away the sweat from across your brow and laugh over what I do to you, to bring you along in my loving charms, a night of love that can't go wrong, endless amounts of beautiful kisses, passionate and true, deep with you, your energy combined with mine, nothing more fine as I fight to stay awake and look into your brown eyes deeper, or whatever color you're looking into, never going away, for love is here to stay. Place and time. Dancing in the world, divorcing all the signs, understanding what is wrong with this place and time. Nothing left to be said except to silence the voice in my head as I climb under the covers into bed again without you. Where I stand. Oh, I remember writing this one. It's English Bay. I was in the park. I was in the sand looking out over the Pacific Ocean near a log where people like to sit, like a lover's log, rest against when they're having their picnics and their towels. I love this piece. Where I stand. Now, this person is here, but not physically there. I play with your feet as mine shuffle through the sand. I feel the earth and its heat beneath the place where I stand. Hold on to the things that give pleasure in a world where so much understanding remains unseen. Find joy in the simple things, the memories last, and we can take them with us wherever we go. Permanent hold on the glory to unfold. It's good when you found what you were looking for and the happiness that comes from it. Like earning your right to a place in heaven, your heart feels the warmth of the good times life provides. I take the inspiration of who I think you are to me and run with it to the place where life and fantasy collide. It keeps living from being so hard to do as you move through the things in life that you cannot change. What makes us sane? As I take today and find pleasure in the weather and play with your feet in the sand where I stand. Wishing this person was what I wanted to believe. Somebody who had been to Vancouver, but not necessarily experienced my side of that world of art, poetry, and passion and romance. So it's like standing there for both of us is kind of the message. One day he may get to read this work, but I don't know if he'll ever know. It's about him. There's a few pieces about it. Every plaid is this one. Every plaid I wear, I still wear your part of the adventure. I walked through the Greyhound, staring at the ground. I laughed at my feet, 'cause that's where we meet. In the shoes I used to wear, you were always there. When I skipped a beat, as I shuffled down the street, I giggle over how some things are so true, you can't change what's a part of you. The things that sustain your mind, a reminder of who's one of a kind. When a wave of you passes through me, I find myself needing to recline, clear my mind, weathering the truth of it all, that you'll never be the one to hold my hand or walk next to me. When I horse around, read my poetry out loud, sing a song or dance on a stage, there is no audience, but still I hold no regrets that we ever met. For it's so much of those days I use to get me through being alone now. So I smile as I press on, 'cause in those memories for me, we have a friendship that lives on strong. Oh, I think he would really like that one. Come to me, and I'll show you why. I have never wanted to lie next to someone naked the way I want to with you. I want to explore your body from your head to your toes. I want to examine every hair on your legs, every muscle that twitches, and understand why. I want to see every freckle, every mole, every scratch and chickenpox scar. I want to finger your ears slowly and memorize every fold. I want to run my hands through your hair, hold on to you so tight that just my love for you makes you sweat and leaves you out of breath. I want to know your back. I want to know your hands. I want to know your front. I want to know your sides. I want to know you, whichever way you stand. I want to love you and hold your hands. I want to know the way you sit, lie down, and stand. I want to know how you hold your head when you're mad, happy, sad, or just about ready to cry. I want to know all there is to know. I want to know until you can't stand how much I know. Till there is no escaping it now. Till neither of us want to move from the other side. glued together like mortar and bricks for all eternity. Our strength and our love able to withstand everything. Able to withstand all the tests of time, all the bad weather, all the rocky roads, all the wetlands, and in the end still come out on top of it all. Happy and glowing, full of life, a love that shines so bright, yours and mine. To testify on behalf of God so easily, just through the love that lives between us. When people look because it cannot be mistaken, what it is they're seeing, for it's amazing and beautiful, graceful and fine, and belongs to nobody else but us. A love that's just only yours and mine, forever and all time. So come to me, and I'll show you why my love testifies. That's one of my favorite ones. Oh boy. I think I was like around 28 years old. It was after my divorce. The experience of somebody, because it's always thinking about somebody, and then the desire of what you're looking for. The combination that created this freedom of being single again too, right? So there's that hope. Oh, I can get it right. When you can choose somebody for yourself, not because of what circumstances threw at you, like Tina Turner complained about. Second chances. Clemency. Clemency, I love you. For the distance of the miles that lives between us, the bonding that's remained the same is incredible, eerie, yet typical. As we use our bodies as the sounding vice to send our messages of love so we can still feel near, understanding things clear about what we've reassured will remain for as long as we live here. No matter where the other one is, the truth is absolute in what was always meant to be, to make up for what went wrong in all that history. Just one word is all it takes to be heard, for the grace to be true this time in knowing God's establishment with you. Clemency. I love that one. Then whose? If it's not his touches that belong to me, ooh, I have a perfect cartoon for this one. If it's not his touches that can fix what I need to feel, then whose is it? As I lie here tonight, trying to take back what's mine, as I see there are not many options in the sea of immorality that lives out there, where am I supposed to turn to find a gentle hand? A man whose mind does not destroy what I want, to enjoy in the same pleasures, recognizing all the treasures. How will I be saved from going out of my mind for keeping in all these years the standards of my virtues? I understand that fight has to come. What I see is real, but does my body have to pay the price this way? Not one night do I get an answer to what it needs. If it's not his hands that can fix it, then whose? Never forget. 3 nights to remember, 3 nights to forget. 3 nights to remember lived without any regret. As the memories pass through over the tears I've shed for you, and how much more I would have liked there to be a better memory of that history. 3 nights to remember, 3 nights to forget. 3 nights to remember lived without any regret. Kiss. Kiss me gentle. Kiss me kind. Hold my hand and ease my mind. Yeah, I think Heath would really like this book. What do you think, Heath? Child in the street. Custody issues. Singleness. When things go wrong as a parent. I see a child in the street. I see the smile that lives there. Her sunny yellow hair. A playful item in the cart. It's a beautiful thing to see a child so smart. A future so full of potential. Unlimited life that lives there. The happiness of the child's disposition, with the love of 2 parents that listen. A blessing and privilege, her own, a family, a home. not having to starve from what she is missing. Her cup will one day be full. She'll be a star that shines around others, that her results will benefit well from. For the helpful person she becomes, proudly loved by someone who holds her hand really well. Never break the spell. All things turn out well. As the cart turns the corner, my smile disappears. I wish my daughter was here. I only ate once today. 5 hot girls in a room. The stench of their perfume. There's actually a SkyTrain station. Kissing words to each other. They're all crowded together near a bench waiting for it to come. Over which one is prettier. It's all about the sin, the clothes they're in, their smooth, naked, tan skin, because they're so young and beautiful. Makeup and long brown hair, I resist the inclination, the poisonous venom running through my veins. Nothing to describe what runs through my body, how it courses through me, such a shame. I leave them there as I step off the platform and onto the SkyTrain at the stadium. They know not of my sexual point of view, a dangerous display, as I think of what I do to teach them all some manners in this war of who's got higher perverted standards. I only ate once today. A much older woman. Okay, this one is after divorce and freedom. I was truck driving with somebody who took me out on the road with them, and I got paid money with them, fed and placed to sleep, which was better than how he found me. So in spite of the training and skills job-wise you have when you're in addiction and running from abuse and trying to recover from trauma, you end up in situations that are compromising, and you got to do what you got to do. And this was a period where I got a little bit of relief and got to breathe and spread my wings and travel. This is called 10 years, and it's about being able to take my shoes off for the first time and be barefoot and walk through grass. To be slow, deliberate, contemplating life and the future and all that it holds in opportunity and time that's ahead. I did this in Edmonton. I took a walk away from where our truck was parked and where we were eating food from, the restaurants and motel and stuff. And it was just a moment I could never forget. Just a period of time where all of this relief came through the bare feet, grounding with the earth, having finally escaped that person and that experience and those years with my life. Still alive, my child's still alive, and we're going to be all right. So it's called 10 years. For 10 years, I lied next to that man. For 10 years, I believed his lines. For 10 years, I was locked away inside. I couldn't be me. For 10 years, he touched me and told me of his love without any show of support. I couldn't live romantically. What's that? Sometimes I would lie there numb and hope that he would notice, but he never did. He just went till he was done, leaving me there to feel like death. I want to know what it's like to enjoy what I feel instead of all the filth that dominated my sexual world. There was a whole other side to me that I was never free to be, shut down at every effort made to communicate. The anger never ended. I always felt suspended when the darkness lived inside. Still, he never realized through the tears I cried and the pleas to make him stop. I was living in a minefield, never knowing when he'd go off. Even when I thought out what I wanted to say, he could find a way to cause a war that could not be escaped. It took 10 years to stand up for who I wanted to be. For 10 years, I lied next to him crying for help. Then I realized you first have to get out. Now I'm reconditioning the damage that was done. I'm learning to smile once in a while. I walked barefoot through the grass, reminding me of how good life feels as I learn to live again. For 10 years, the future of my own was never in my sight. Now, it's never-ending opportunities that are laid out before me as I move along, growing strong in the light. Everyone deserves a good life. And this next one is also one of my favorite ones. And I had a very good day. It was a very peaceful day. Water, Pacific Ocean, Vancouver can have its moments, good moments. Before the construction and changes that they have in place now, this area where I was sitting and contemplating, watching people, so good. Home is where the heart is. Home is where the heart is. Mine is everywhere. I like to live free in the discovery of everything life has to give. No rude awakenings, just strangers pave my way. There's a great big fine reward in learning all things new. It doesn't get much better than this. It's always like a new love's first kiss. Fresh and distinct, always different and unique. Something sweet that's always there. Each new corner you walk somewhere. Someone new for you to meet. So crack a joke and make them smile, or take a seat and talk about life for a while. A constant reminder that God is good, just misunderstood. Because of the things that we do, you have to like who you are to understand where you're at when you're looking out over that spectacular ocean view, or noticing that dog walker smiling back at you. The love of life is in what we do, the choices we make that gets through. Happiness is in the discovery that we don't need to work so hard, that our hearts ache, or our hair turns gray, or that you never get a vacation because you haven't enough pay. Less is more when you learn to uncover the richness that's there in sharing good times and life with people who care. It's amazing what one's kindness does to help make life more pleasant in all that we do. I like living free. It's the only way to be, to love so strong, fear nothing going wrong. I can't imagine doing things any other way. Sometimes it's all that we can do to get from place to place, to discover those things new, and the joys finding them brings. The more we discover who we are. From this great big wide open world built on hope, prayer, and a dream. In our understanding the balance of things. Home is where the heart is, and mine is everywhere. I'm grateful I got that moment, that time, because it's changed the construction and that pathway and that dog walker smiling at me and the bridge, and it's not like that now. They've changed so much, and so grateful I was there and living in times that only those of us that are part of that era of time can know and appreciate and be glad that we're there. So this one's called silence. It's another form of the same word, grooming, when dealing with that whole underground prostitution ring pimping stuff. But this time it's about girls. So it's in hyphen says, girls rape too. I didn't know whether to feel like a girl or a boy as she touched me like I was some kind of joy. Her masturbating like I was a willing participant, making me touch myself where she wanted to see my hands go. My body was stiff as her cruel satisfaction burned in me. Strange sensations visiting my swollen wound, causing chaos in my 12-year-old mind. Never again would I be fined. Scared of her lips, please stay away, her breasts clouding my view of the door I wish to escape through. A guilty confusion passing through me, scarring my emotions on where to stand. Her rape on me had a permanent hand. My life with relationships no longer made sense. Battling back against what that's meant for years. I don't know how to feel like other women. raped of that right to find my natural choice. All I have are these words to act as my voice, as I try to find a way to love myself through the challenges that lay before me, to make sense of it all. In the end, my body back as my friend, and the peace of mind that will bring when a new love's kiss is happening, and I'll finally know whose hand to hold. I will be happy to report to you guys that I grew up to be able to work my body out, and it is my friend again. So yeah, I can enjoy. uh, the struggle was real when you're dealing with abuse from both sides. When everybody is hurting you, you're left at a complete loss. You're stunned. Like, where do I go? What do I do if I can't trust you and I can't trust you? Who's left to trust? And so, of course, you learn as you grow up how to discern and figure this stuff out. So yeah, the happy ending is that I've worked out how to work that out. 20 plus years in security and all this self-defense training and all this other mental health stuff. And yeah, I'm good. If you need some help, I'm here to help. So the poem is called, this next one's called Untitled. Endless sea of thoughts, endless mountains of words. The deeper you swim, the higher you climb, the more you'll gain, the more you'll win. On your road of life, the more you'll be able to give for the finished products of your yearnings will be the truth that sets you free. The next one's called Embracing. I think of all the nights that my body hurt for you as I laid naked in bed, with my hands against the wall, confused and afraid over what feelings of needed embracing were shouting out of me, needing you to take place with, wishing you had been feeling the way I needed you to. Living together I thought was the plan, but you never came after me, which left me dazed and confused because of words spit from your head that I believed when I heard them. I cannot count the days I spent craving your touches against my skin, the company needed in knowing how well we'd get along, to feel the warmth of your breath blowing up against my neck as your arms hold me and let me know that you're never letting me go. Your life a part of mine, today, tomorrow, and all the years ahead, untried. Together in this world, building our own private paradise. But instead, the years have passed, and the aches that lived dead in my groins now awaken at times to remind me of the visit that has yet to take place with anyone, a place that we will both always know was born for you. So I think of all the nights that my body hurt for you as I laid naked in bed with my hands against the wall. So this, starts off as one person, then over time becomes for somebody else because you're still searching, right? Because it never arrived, the experience, right? So you got to keep going. Your hands bang against the wall. Where are you, right? Find me. Clench your hands. Don't give up. Okay. Rocky. Right. The next one's called I Don't Want to Be. This is actually a song. It's like to be like a rebel with cause, punk, anarchy, written with swears and then written again without swears so that you have two different groups of people that can read it and accept it and not freak out. So this one says, I don't want to be. Everyone has one of those days where you want to kick and scream and shout. Ever have one of those days you think, why the heck should I be nice? If you ever have one of those days, just scream, I don't want to be nice. Why not be ugly? Why not be mean? Why not be hell-raising too? I'm tired of the garbage and the things we have to go through. I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I don't want to be nice. No, I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I don't want to be nice. I don't want you to like me. I don't want to like you. I don't want you to like me, so I'll just say to heck with you. So that's where I changed it. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. If you ever have one of those days, play nice. Don't do what I just did. Just scream, I don't want to be, I don't want to be, I don't want to be nice. What's wrong with ugly? What's wrong with mean? What's wrong with hell-raising too? I'm tired of all the garbage I changed that word too. And all the things we have to go through. I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I don't want to be nice. Yeah. So eventually, people have copies of both. They'll be available per poem, like people's capable, like people are able to buy songs today. But buying the whole book's still better because the idea is to be a fan of all the work, not specific genre of just this stuff only out of that writer's world. However, you still have the option. This one I wrote sitting on the sidewalk, Queen Street West, Toronto, 1994. It's called Freedom. It's a big battle because at 51, I'm still in Canada. I haven't taken trips overseas. I've been on a cruise ship. So I wrote this because of how you find freedom. You know, when you take people's opportunities and money away, or you control all of that, there's, repercussions. And so you have to find ways to get relief in the circumstances of the life, the cards you've been handed. I still get blown away at how young I was and being able to observe circumstances and write something so deep when I'm still so young, just early adulthood. So here goes. Freedom. Let me say this and say it so. You all can hear, you all can know. Imagine, if you will, you stand alone in a place where you've been kept for so long, a place from which you cannot roam, by someone who has the power and the means to do so. What he has wanted is just what he's done. But wait, your mind, your thoughts, your dreams and longings, they cannot be imprisoned. You strain to roam and hunt out into the unknown, which we are all born for and which you've been locked away from. Little by little, you slip away. Your longing for the boundless, the infinite, will end only when the unknown attracts you no longer. When the change comes, and it has to come. That's when you are finally left to choose freely. No longer will you yearn for it, for your mind will no longer be driven into darkness, like a black shadowing cloud beating over you. For you have now seen into the heart of it, and were left to have been able to enter it, if you chose to do so. But it is then that you are left free to choose the unknown. Therefore, you are then left free to reject it. I love that piece, even though sometimes it makes you think you were smarter and wiser at 19 than when you get older. And then you get wise again when you get to the midlife where I'm at now. So now it matches that 19, right? Kissing lips is the next one. The feeling of the touch of your bottom kissing lips. The chapstick needed in all that forever feeling. Found in the truth of the sound the moment it is shared. Oof. I think I need to rewrite the Smallville reunion movie, book 1, with the part where Clark is rescuing Janet from all of the boys at the dunk tank, where they get tank tickets to come back to the kissing booth in the evening. Shoo. That poem, it describes it perfectly when she's asking him how he's going to go about doing this thing that's supposed to get rid of all those guys waiting for their turn for their tickets. Thunder. The sound of your heartbeat as strong as thunder, with the lightning flash. My ear doesn't need to lay against your chest for me to hear the strength of that you bear in who you are. It lives in me. For all the time I lost never being able to explore your freckles, to stare into that bored look in your eyes, consumed by how much I care. How brave we've both been in the times we've lived, every moment we've been kept apart. For all the fun dancing in the street could have been with you, I frown upon my futures down for wanting you to travel around the world with. And then there's always drugs, right? Anyway, morning dew is the next one. A drop of morning dew tastes like honey. is what I knew it should have been with you. From just that gentle, smooth, soft, subtle, shared in that untested kiss, never finished with you. The early years, is the next one. A lot of tragedy happened in my life at 12, on top of all the tragedy I was telling you guys about, basically, that started at 5 all the way up. It just kept climbing, getting worse. So I have a big testimony about the attack that can happen in your life. It doesn't matter what country you're in, but that this country was not one that people could be proud of in trying to make out like it's safe to raise kids here, that it isn't filled with the cesspool that it is, or that parents are doing a good job. Because a lot of this started with just kids doing this to other kids. So there's something intrinsically wrong there. And if it doesn't start at the parent, then where does it start from, right? Like, there's a big issue behind discipline and a reason to teach people about God, Jesus, and love, equality, respect, boundaries. The early years. 12 years old, sitting on the tracks, cutting arms open with contaminated broken beer bottle glass. 12 years old, sitting on the tracks, skipping out of school, knowing they're going to flunk your ass. 12 years old, smoking lots of dope, already thinking there isn't any hope. Well, is there? Lost in a world that's too busy trying to save face instead of looking after you. They just pretend they know what to do. Teachers. Meanwhile, you've already given up on trying to find a place for yourself in this world. 12 years old, sitting on the tracks, writing a death note, cutting your arms open, thinking about how nice it would be just to end it all like that. 12 years old, sitting on the tracks. Something wrong with that? So yeah, I'm a track girl. One of the consolations of my life was the standard of life. My mom always managed to find places that she could afford to rent that was around train tracks. So I grew up a track girl, and I sort of get lots of solace from trains. So the next one's called masturbation. Hanging from the monkey bars, dangling, my legs strongly crossed, trying to understand how to separate from sin in the great big world that I was living in, frowning over what there is so much of everywhere. Can't find shelter from a storm, a roof under which to feel safe, and no inner peace to practice what I write. The message made so clear. Masturbation, any time of the year. Just another wicked form of adding to our emotional confusion. Absolution, only for the persons of perfection, through the Bible's teachings and the Christian preaching. Help from the Scripture's word and the Holy Spirit, giving strength to us in this life to guide us in the areas where we are weakest, to fight the fever until the time when love is there, properly established. Marriage. When I was still that girl living in a different place and time, hanging from the monkey bars back when I was 9, when I unfolded true salvation in avoiding masturbation, in quotation, I would have fallen from the monkey bars. And the last big piece, important one, this has to do with the Highway of Tears, the many missing, murdered women, and the unsolved crimes. What a serial killer would be, to me, in my observation, studying psychology, what people should be looking for, how they should be able to narrow down the criminals we're trying to arrest. It's called Magnificent. Do you see the common man? Every day he wakes up at the same time. Every day he walks the same way. Every day he crosses the same street, always prepared for the weather as he heads to work. This morning he walked through a frosty dew, as he also did yesterday, holding in his right arm all he needs to carry. Do you see the common man? Magnificent? Because it's those ordinary, average people with those ridiculous routines and patterns of habit, clothing, all that stuff, that are usually the ones that we should be following and recognizing are the dangerous people that are taking our loved ones' lives. And they get away with it for so long before something happens that triggers a way for people to track them down. Like the last 4 girls that were murdered in Manitoba, and the 2 years it took for them to find the guy and arrest him. Won't get into the details of that, but that whole thing with the Highway of Tears and how I found out about it in my life and growing up, hitchhiking and living the way I did, it was just very traumatizing and shocking. Somebody needs to make a movie about my life and just call it Alive. The fact that I am, that I survived all of it. Like there's a higher power, somebody loving me, angels that were overseeing my ability to witness this and live and write about it. So there's more to come. That's it for these books. This book I got through. I think my battery power is about to die. So I'm now going to leave the house. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to sit in a hot water whirlpool. Hope these videos find Mark Carney, Brendan Fraser, CTV News, Doug Ford, Parliament, Governor General, King Charles, and that somehow we will be able to provide some sort of restitution to me, to my work, to time, and to all of the work that's here for people. And let's fix things, reverse the damages in our economy and our environment so we have a future. Henceforth, the name of my company, Future Productions. If you want a future, contact me with your headshots, resumes, and all of your sample clips of work. Unsolicited material is welcome. And all of the information to reach me is below. Subscribe and follow and share these videos. And I look forward to receiving people's submissions in my email. Bye for now, Superwoman, signing out. President, CEO of Future Productions. Peace out, everyone. Oh, my arm. I gotta go heal it.